Hi guys, so it is the second lecture. If you can recall yesterday we talked about the OSI layer model, and today we are going to go and talk about the TCP/IP layer model. Now before I start explaining all that, I just want to make sure that OSI layer model is the international standard, whereas the TCP/IP is all about the Department of Defense. So the OSI layer has 7 layers. The TCP/IP basically they started with the four layers, but now gradually they have upgraded to 5. So what I'm going to tell you is we are going to go talk about the differences and the comparisons about these two. So as we figured out yesterday that the application layer is where the user interface is having interface with the application. So clearly the layer includes all processes that use the transport layer protocol to deliver data. So that means if you are working on a computer and you are using a browsing services, or you are using NSLOOKUP, or you are using POP3 and all those things, so clearly they are using the transport layer protocol to deliver the data. So this is we call application layer. So it doesn't matter whether OSI or TCP/IP, they do the same thing, because TCP/IP does everything with the transport layer protocol to deliver. So if you are using HTTP, or if you are using FTP, or if you are using SMTP or NFS, so basically this is all about the application layer, client server thing. And now, so that means this is the same thing. The question is that if you are creating a notepad and all that, it's not a application layer, because notepad is not using anything dealing with the transport layer protocol to deliver the data. So make sure you understand this one. So any process, any application which we are using as a client server concept, which uses the transport protocol to deliver the data, that comes under the application layer. So OSI or TCP/IP, same concept. Number 2, in TCP/IP, we don't call it presentation layer, because this was a part of the OSI layer. But TCP/IP, this becomes under the application layer. The concept remains the same, because you want to format the data, whatever you are generating, your browser is generating, or your Outlook is generating, that data, that information has to be presentable, formatting. And when you are formatting it, that means, as I said earlier, whether it's the ASCII code, or is it JPEG, or is it MP4, the way you want to format, because system is going to go and send it to the other device. So the other device will be able to open it in that type of MP4 will be open in MP4, JPEG will be open like JPEG, or your ASCII code will be open in any text editor. So again, presentation layer is separate layer in OSI, but not in TCP/IP. It is a part of the application. Third part, this is a little difference here. Session layer. In OSI layer, we know that the session layer is the number 5 layer. And what this is doing is, this is managing session. So managing session basically means how these applications cooperate between each other. This is largely occurring at the transport layer, and the session is not used as we say in OSI layer model. Here what we call it socket. In a TCP/IP world, the session is basically known as a socket. Socket means any application which you are using, it is source port, and wherever you want to send it, the destination port. So this is where system is going to go look into that. So socket and port. So that means socket means you have an IP address, you have a port number, and you have a protocol. And all these things comes under the TCP/IP. So in TCP/IP means your application, your session, your presentation layer, these 3 layers become one. So we just call it application layer. And remember, the application means the transport layer of where applications, client server applications, so that those application protocols can use the transport protocol, that means the TCP and UDP protocol, to send the data. Now the interesting part is this is where we are going to spend some time, and you make sure you understand, and I will give you the information. The transport layer. Transport layer is now, that means where we are using in TCP/IP concept. We do have the same thing with the OSI layer model. So TCP/IP is using 2 main protocols, TCP and UDP. TCP means Transmission Control Protocol, and that transmission protocol means is reliable, flow control and correction of the data. So its job is basically to make everything reliable, keep control of the data flow, and if there is some error messages, it is going to fix it, it is going to correct it. So this is the only layer, this is the only protocol, TCP, which can correct, which can fix things. The other protocol, maybe layer 2, can tell you that there is a problem but it can't fix it. So this is the main protocol which is going to fix it. So it is reliable, connection oriented, and the data flow goes there. So how it goes, we are going to go and look into those. Now again, this depends upon the application which you are using on the top layer. HTTP is using TCP as a protocol, so then it's going to become reliable. Then it's going to go and make sure that the data is going to go into the other side. So this is called end-to-end device protocol. So TCP layer means you are sitting on a host A, you want to send a message to host B, so this is host to host. So when you say, I am calling you from my port number 1023, but I want to connect with your port number 80 on your web server. So the both, I'm going to show you that the algorithm, how it works, the flow chart. Let's look into this part. So TCP, if you are using a TCP, you means the application which you are using. If that application is using TCP as a transport protocol, how it works? So computer A wants to talk to computer B. They don't know each other. So they have to form the connection first. So what do we call it? The host A is sending a sync bit, synchronization bit, or sequence number. It says on the other side of the computer. So clearly there are so many other things which we have to look into that, because they may be able to see each other, they may be able to ping that computer, then only you can talk, otherwise they are not going to talk. So first one is the computer A says, well, I am going to talk to you. Maybe you need to download a web page. You say, okay, I want you to synchronize with me and my sequence number. This is very important. With this synchronization, your computer is sending that I'm initiating my session with you, and I'm going to go and use my sequence number that means starting from, let's say, X. X means the number. When the message goes to the host B, you say, okay, I acknowledge this one, I got it. I know that you are going to go use a sequence number X. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a sequence number Y, for example, so that we know that we keep track of each other. You are sending X and then X plus something, and I will be, I'm acknowledging this one, and then I will send you the acknowledgement. Once I receive that, then I will acknowledge it. So you can see that it is synchronizing. Synchronizing means sequence numbers. And acknowledging. Now it goes to the host A. The host says, okay, so I also acknowledge. Yeah, you got it. I know now how you are going to do. And now I'm going to send you data. And then they start sending data. So you can see this is called a three-way handshake. Sync, the destination, sync and acknowledge, coming back to the host which initiated, acknowledge, and then only they start sending the data. Now in between here, if some packets are missing, because this machine, when it's going to send the data, is going to go, when they are negotiating, the destination computer is going to tell the source that I can only take this much information in a go. So then the source computer is going to go chop those out, like say 5 packets, which call segmentation. So you say, I'm going to send you 5 packets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when it goes, until the other guys says, well, I have received up 1 to 5, because they are keeping track with sequence number, because they have to arrange everything at the destination. If some packet gets missing, let's say the other guy got 1, 2, 3, 5, not 4. So the other guy is going to tell this guy that I have missing 4, so send me that. The reason here is they keep track of all that because of sequence numbers, because 4 is missing. And then 4 is not going to fit into those numbers, which is going to reassemble there. So this is how it makes reliable with the acknowledgement. Reliability and acknowledgement comes from the sequence. So TCP, Transport Protocol, is a reliable protocol. it does the acknowledgement, and then only they send the information. Okay, so once we have this part, let's see number 2. The other part is then called UDP, User Datagram Protocol. So under the transport layer, the application may be using UDP. Now UDP means there is no reliability as such from the system, but it is also end-to-end delivery from A computer to B computer. So the reliability is coming from the application which you are using. For example, you are using some webcam putting here or something else. So that depends upon that. If you call it is unreliable, it can discover the errors, but it won't tell you. It won't say that, oh, let's fix it. It don't specify. Like nice people, even when they know that somebody is misbehaving, they won't tell them that you are misbehaving. They just keep shut. They don't say anything. So UDP is a fast protocol, voice and video, because you cannot have that much overhead. So the applications are using UDP to send the information again from point to point, A to B. Remember, the first 3 application, session and presentation, those processes are within your computer, the stack, within your machine. But this one is if you want to talk to the other computer. So first we will see that you have to go and do so many things. So this layer again is a built-in, is a part of the application which you are using, TCP or UDP. You don't have a control over there when we are working as users. That's how the system works. Now once we have done all part here is, so in the first 3 layers or in a TCP IP layer, when we say 1, we generate the data. And then that data is going to be passed on to the transport layer, and transport layer is going to add its own information. We call it a header, which is going to inform so that the other machine will know that what exactly they want them to do. So we call them encapsulation, or we call them a header. That means putting some extra information with that data. So this data plus the new information, the whole thing, we call it a PDU. And that PDU call, we call it what type of information the TCP is sending it. They use the term segmentation, segment, a part. Now this one gives the information to the next layer, which is a network layer. So all that information which is flowing from the top, now the TCP is going to give it to the network layer. Now network layer again is logical. It is going to find, it must know the IPs, the name where it has to go, and it is going to go and form a packet, which we say packet. So whatever it comes from the top, it is adding its own header. So TCP is adding its own header, is putting the source IP address, the destination IP address and all that, and plus the information which is getting from the top. So the whole thing is called, when it's going to send you, we call it a packet. So this packet is going to go to the next layer. So you can see that the down layer is serving the upper layer because it's moving down. And so now once everything has been done, the packet has been created, the path has been fixed. Now it goes to the physical things, data link layer. So data link layer means link to link, physical. So your side, from where your message is going to go out of your machine, whether it is wired or wireless, must add an entry of the physical address of the next link. So it creates its own header and is attached with the packet which comes from the top, and it sends it. Now that frame, which call it a frame, we call it a frame. Again, encapsulation process is known as a frame. So that frame contains all the information which is getting from the top and is putting its own small header and a trailer. So this is the only layer which is putting header and trailer. Reason, because it's ending it. Now it's closing, like a box in a box. You have one big box, then small box, then another small box in that, and then you close it, and then you wrap it. Now that depends upon the topology which you are using, whether you're using Ethernet 802.3 or you are using a wireless 802.11. So these standards, as I said earlier, these layers concept is about the standards. So these standards have been set. And TCP/IP layer standards are set by IEEE, Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. And similarly, the 802.2 or 802.3, IEEE calls it. Like when you are looking at your wireless, we know 802.11a or B or G or N or AN or whatever. But it has to be started with 802.11. Similarly, all Ethernet is 802.3, whether it's 802.3a or AB or AZ or whichever. So this frame is set, and at this level the encapsulation is known as a frame. This frame is passed on to the next layer, which is called a physical. So physical is where everything is going to be converted into signals. So if you look at that, all transmission goes out. So that which transmission is going to go out, so that means your repeaters, your connectors, and all those like RJ45 connectors or whichever, or your DB9 or your printing thing, those pins. That means these are all physical layer things. The system is going to go and take all the raw data from the above, those up to data link layer, and it's going to convert everything into bits. And then it's sent to the medium, whether radio frequency or through your cables. So this is how it works. So that means in a TCP/IP layer, let me go make sure you follow this one, that whether it's OSI, but because OSI is obsolete now. So mainly since 90s, we have been using TCP/IP. All the applications have been figured out, configured, the software is being written, the hardware is being developed using TCP/IP concept. So application layer, where we generate the data, where we format the data, where we create those source ports and destination ports, session within that application. Then is the TCP layer. So TCP layer is going to go and make a connection end to end. That means device to device. And then, depending upon the application which we are using, HTTP or FTP or some others, whether it's connection oriented or without any connection, that means connectionless, it is going to convert into signal, or the what we call segments, and is handing over to the data link layer. So data link layer is your topology of your network, whether it's a wireless or wired or fiber optics or whichever you're using, HDLC, or we will see later on when we are looking into the encapsulation, whether it's a frame relay or ISDN or whichever. And then it is creating a frame. Switches are at a data link layer. Remember, the devices which we use in Cisco or even normal life, switches. So we use hardware switches. They generate the MAC address, and then they want to send to the physical or MAC address to the next link. Remember, switch is link to link. Data link is, that's why I say data link, is linking whatever data we are getting from one switch to the other switch or the other link. And then similarly that machine will have another link, and then they will have another link, and it keeps going. And then everything is converted into your zeros and ones, and system is sending on outside, whether the radio frequency I said earlier, or going through your electricity and all that. Okay, so now once we have done the OSI layer model and TCP/IP, the next thing is we are going to go and talk in the tomorrow lecture. We are going to talk how they look like on the networks, because this is all conceptual things. For your exam, you make sure that they do ask you that what is the encapsulation at application, session, and presentation layer. So you must know data. Then they say what is the encapsulation method at a transport level. You must know that we call it segment. Then they ask you what is the encapsulation method at data link layer. Make sure you must know the frame. We don't do any encapsulation at we do call it bits, but there is no PDU things. We don't call anything at a physical level layer. Okay. So make sure OSI layer model call it a PDUs. So PDU 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because there are 7 layers. So if you if you understand what I'm saying is, you can put on the comments. If you need something more, write on in the comments. So I can add some more. Or maybe if I'm saying more, then I can reduce whatever information I'm giving you. And then the main thing is, keep reading my lectures or keep watching my videos so that it remains the continuity, because this is very important. To pass the exam and to learn the software, you make sure you do every day. Otherwise, things are very, very complex. And what I want to do is, I want you to subscribe my channel so that you can keep knowing things, whatever I'm sharing. Okay? So then have a nice evening and take care and see you tomorrow. Okay? Bye.